Alright, had a request for a how-to video for the wheel decals. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to first remove the decals and then install some new ones. So I'm going to be removing these. I'm going to be installing these dark gray ones. So this is going to be all the tools you're going to need. Microfiber, some rubbing alcohol, old card to use as a squeegee, and you'll need some scissors for the wheel decals. I'll get it on the stand and we'll get to it. Alright, first things first, since my wheels are really dirty, I'm going to give them a clean before I start removing this. This is moored, so just to prevent my hands from getting super dirty. Alright, now I'm going to take a heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, you can use a hair dryer. It works the same, it just takes a little while longer. If you can heat up the adhesive, it makes removal much easier. Now I'm just going to peel them off. Now that I have them removed, I'm gonna just rinse off, try and clean off the rest of the adhesive residue that's left over with alcohol and a microfiber. Alright, we have the surface clean now. Old decals are removed. All the adhesive is cleaned off. We've cleaned it with alcohol. The alcohol is dry. Now we're ready to apply our decals. You'll notice that I took scissors and went and trimmed very closely around this outer edge, because this outer edge is what I'm going to be using to try and line up. So I want this edge as close to the actual edge of the decal as I can possibly get it, so that I can be sure that I get these edges lined up with the edge of this lip on the wheel. So the next thing I'm going to do, you don't have to do it now, you can wait till you get this part attached to do it, but I think it's easier to go ahead and do it now. We're going to attach this first, and then we're going to have to roll these letters over. And you can see, because of the curved surface of the wheel, they don't want to all roll over. So what you're going to need to do is cut between each one of the letters, and that will allow it to be able to bend over the curved surface. So I'm going to cut maybe half, a little over half, maybe 2/3 down the way between each letter. Now I'm going to use some good old blue painter's tape. If you don't have any painter's tape laying around, you can always cut off some of the backing paper and use the edge of the transfer tape to stick. So I'm going to try and get this lined up exactly where I want it. I'm going to try and center it between these as best I can. And that looks pretty good to me. So So I'm going to use this piece of painter's tape just to hold that edge right there in place. And so now I can kind of take a step back, eye it, make sure it looks good and centered. And that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to use the painter's tape to hold the transfer tape in place while I remove the backing paper. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. And I'm just separating the backing paper, making sure that the vinyl comes off with the transfer tape and doesn't stay on the backing paper. And this is kind of tricky because you've already cut it, so you want to make sure the transfer tape doesn't tear. Okay, now my backing paper is removed, but the blue painter's tape is still holding that edge right where it was. So now I'm just going to carefully try and line it back up, following this edge of the lip of the wheel all the way around. As long as you don't apply too much pressure right here, you can pick it up, move it. Yeah, take your time, don't be in a rush. These wheel decals are definitely some of the most difficult to get right. You can see I'm struggling because I'm on camera. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. So at this point you can use your squeegee, or on the wheel, since it's a curved surface, I like to just use my finger. And I'm just gonna apply the decal along this little lip of the wheel right here. Careful, if you get any air bubbles that are trying to crease on you, you can pull it back up. See, I got one trying to crease on me here. Alright, at this point you can remove the painter's tape because it's not needed. And you're just gonna slowly start rolling the letters over. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways that you can do this. This is how I do it. Found it works pretty good. Get pretty reliable results with it. Your mileage may vary. Alright, at this point the decal is on. I'm just going over to make sure I don't have any air bubbles. Now I can remove the transfer tape. There you have it. Now just repeat the same thing on the other side.